iOS 26 preview, hands-on with Apple's biggest iPhone update since 2013, liquid glass design. Get ready for a major shakeup in your iPhone experience. Apple just unveiled its most ambitious iPhone software redesign in over a decade, and it's a game changer. During the highly anticipated Worldwide Developers Conference, WWDC, on June 9, 2025, at Apple Park in Cupertino, California, the tech giant introduced iOS 26, a public beta preview of its next-generation operating system. But here's where it gets exciting. This isn't just a minor tweak. It's a complete overhaul dubbed Liquid Glass, a design language that transforms the way we interact with our iPhones. For the first time since 2013's iOS 7, which introduced a flatter, more minimalist look, Apple is redefining the iPhone's user interface. Liquid Glass replaces traditional buttons and menus with translucent, fluid designs that animate as you navigate. Think of it as glass that flows like liquid, a visually stunning and dynamic experience. But here's the catch. Apple is relying on your feedback to fine-tune these radical changes. Love it or hate it, your voice matters in shaping the final version. To try iOS 26, iPhone users in the US and other countries can enroll in the public beta program on Apple's website, https://beta.apple.com. Simply head to your settings, tap on General, then Software Updates, and finally, Beta Updates. This early access gives you a sneak peek at what's coming this fall when the software officially rolls out. But this redesign isn't just about looks. Apple has also updated its operating systems for iPads, Mac computers, and Apple Watch to adopt the liquid glass interface, ensuring a cohesive experience across devices. And that's not all. The phone app now combines recent calls and voicemails into a single screen, and new screening tools help filter out spam calls and texts. However, here's where it gets controversial. Despite promises made in 2024, major AI-driven updates to Siri are nowhere to be found in iOS 26. These enhancements have been delayed until at least 2026, leaving some users wondering if Apple is falling behind in the AI race. But before you write it off, consider this. Apple has introduced several clever AI features, like real-time translations in iMessage and FaceTime, and a visual search tool that lets you find products based on screenshots. For example, spot a lamp in a news article, highlight it, and iOS 26 will help you find where to buy it. And this is the part most people miss. Apple's annual software update cycle is a well-oiled machine. Announced in June at WWDC, developers get early access to tinker with the new features. Over the summer, a public beta version is released for early adopters to test and report bugs. Then, in the fall, the new software is pushed out alongside the latest iPhone hardware, automatically updating most devices. So, is Liquid Glass a bold step forward or a risky gamble? Will the delayed Siri updates impact Apple's standing in the AI space? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. This is one conversation you won't want to miss. Apple's iOS 26 public beta released. Liquid Glass and macOS Tahoe 26 first look. Imagine a world where your digital devices not only function seamlessly, but also look like they're part of a futuristic sci-fi movie. That's the promise Apple seems to be making with its latest software updates, which now include a dazzling new design aesthetic known as Liquid Glass. But here's where it gets controversial. Not everyone may welcome this bold shift in design. Let's dive into what this means for you and your devices. On July 24th, 2025, Apple unveiled the first public betas for a series of major updates across all its platforms, including iOS 26, iPadOS 26, macOS Tahoe 26, watchOS 26, and tvOS 26. These updates are not just incremental. They represent a significant overhaul in how Apple envisions the interface of its devices. The centerpiece of this new look is what Apple calls Liquid Glass, a design language heavily inspired by the previously introduced Vision OS. This design features enhanced transparency and a fluid aesthetic that makes everything on the screen appear vibrant and dynamic. When I first experienced Liquid Glass on my iPhone, it felt like holding a piece of tomorrow in my hands. The transparency isn't just about aesthetics. It aims to provide a more intuitive and immersive user experience. However, Apple has already made adjustments to the level of translucency and the appearance of the control center in response to feedback from the initial developer beta. This iterative process shows Apple's commitment to refining its vision based on user interaction. Another interesting aspect of these updates is the new numbering scheme. All Apple's operating systems now end with 26, a nod to the automotive industry's practice of naming models after the upcoming year. This change might seem minor, but it simplifies understanding which version of the software you're using, ensuring you always know if you're up to date. Now, let's talk about installing these betas. If you're curious to see Liquid Glass in action or experience the other enhancements firsthand, Apple has made the beta versions available to the public. This is a great opportunity to get a sneak peek at what's coming and provide feedback that could shape the final release. And this is the part most people miss. Participating in a public beta is not just about early access to new features. It's a chance to influence the development of software that millions around the world will use. Do you think the move towards more transparency in design is a step forward, or could it lead to potential usability issues? What are your thoughts on Apple's approach to integrating user feedback into its development cycle? Feel free to share your views and join the conversation below.